So it has been quite a long time since I've made any photography or camera related content, or really any content on this channel. So I thought I would do, at least to start the year 2022 off, a favorite photos of 2021 that I took. Now, 2021 was a very unique year. It was a very transitional year for me in my life and my family's life. For starters, I stopped doing any sort of paid photography work altogether in 2021 to focus primarily on working with my wife and her YouTube channel full-time, as well as being a parent and raising kids. And kind of along with that, a lot of my personal work as far as photography went down the drain. I didn't really do a lot of personal work or any photography in 2021. I mean, there was some, which, we're about to get to, obviously, but by and large, photography for me in 2021 was really few and far between. I also went really far down the rabbit hole of watches as kind of a hobby, I guess you could say. And any sort of free time that I spent was primarily looking at watches or participating in the watch community online, buying watches, selling watches, taking photos of watches. I guess photos of watches was kind of like what I did most in 2021. But suffice it to say that I am really far down that rabbit hole of watches as a hobby, I guess, as weird as that sounds to say. But really, the transition from not really doing in photography for any paid work and just focusing on YouTube as a full-time thing with my wife and her channel, the other biggest thing that my family went through is that we completed our adoption in 2021 and actually traveled to go bring our daughter home. And obviously, that took up a lot of time, finishing out an adoption, traveling to go bring her home, and then integrating her into our family and, adjusting, which has been going amazing. But that was a lot of our focus in the, last third or quarter of 2021. That was just a really big part of our lives in 2021. But anyway, I'd say the most fun I had with photography in 2021 was early or in the spring. My family and I, with my cousins, took a trip down to Puerto Rico. And that was amazing. It was amazing family time. It was amazing to get to explore and have adventures. But also for photography, it was very fulfilling. I just took the X100T with me. I made a video about it, actually. And so that's a good transition to talk about I've got 10 images that were my favorite of 2021. And the first one here is actually of my cousin in Puerto Rico in kind of like a cave/cove right on the shoreline. One evening after dinner, we went down there, just my cousin and I, to kind of explore. And I took this photo of him standing in the cove/cave area, looking out, to the Caribbean Sea there. And I love so much about this photo. I love the lighting coming in, hitting him on his right side there as he looks out, the lighting on the rocks, and then just, of course, the sky, how soft and colorful and beautiful the sky is. And just the composition of me being kind of further back into that cave, shooting him looking out. I really like this image. And, there's a lot of photos that I took in Puerto Rico that mean a lot to me, that I really, really enjoy, whether it be of my family or of my kid or whatever. But, as for photos that are a little more artistic and I would put like on my website or something, this is definitely one of them, and I really enjoy this. Shot with the X100T. So almost half of my favorite photos of 2021 were shot in Puerto Rico. So this is another shot of my cousin in Puerto Rico jumping off of a waterfall in the jungle. Like I said, we went on some great adventures, traipsing around in national rainforests and in jungles, as well as rugged coastlines. And, with the X100T, took a burst of him jumping off this waterfall. And this was one of my favorite ones out of the bursts that I got of him. I love the light on him. I love his pose in the air. I love that he's kind of in the middle of the frame, the black void there, instead of like being against the waterfall where he would kind of blend into it. Yeah, I just really like this action shot, and he actually got this framed and I think put in his bathroom because he's an adventurer at heart and an explorer, and this is just right up his alley. He loves, having that memory of going and jumping off waterfalls, in the jungle, in a rainforest in Puerto Rico, and I really enjoy this photo as well. Another shot of my cousin at the beach, and I really like this photo because that is his daughter, who was, I think, 1 at the time. So it was a big excursion for her, and she was awesome. She loved every minute of being down there. But I loved this. I think this was our first day, and they were playing kind of down by the water, and this wave came crashing in, and his daughter was enjoying the water and just having a blast. But I love the expression on his face. I love the pose he's in. It almost kind of looks like he was, shielding himself by using from the wave by holding her, but that's not what was happening. But I just love the pose here. I love the moment capturing that wave crashing in and the look on his face, and then him with his daughter. He likes this photo as well, but another one of my favorite ones of the year. And then this photo of my son walking along just with his little ankles in the water. It was just me and him hanging out. My wife was back up in our Airbnb working, and so my son and I just went down to the beach, and we hung out for a couple hours, and we were hanging out by this really cool palm tree that was kind of extending over the beach, over the sand. And I framed up this composition as he was walking through with the palm tree there. And you can even see down on the right-hand side, he had a little toy bulldozer that he was playing with that's in the sand. But it was such a great time down there. And then the water, as you could see, was crystal clear. And I just really enjoyed capturing this moment of him trudging through the water there and just kind of playing. And I like the colors. Once again, the X100T is just it's so magical. Yeah, really like this photo. Another thing that I forgot to mention that happened in 2021 is we also moved. So we moved into a different house, just adding more things into the hectic transitional year 2021 was. But we had this giant bay window in our living room. It's really gorgeous. We love it. And one morning, not long after getting moved in, my wife was just reading a book while sipping on her coffee, and just sitting down. And it was just a nice scene to me. We had just moved in, and it was just a nice, quiet, relaxing morning, which is something rare that we don't get with 2 kids a lot. But I just really liked just the cozy feel of this photo, and then the light coming in behind her, and just the light on her, and just her wrapped up in the blanket and doing what she loves to do, which is read. And so yeah, this was one of my favorites when I look back on the year, favorite photos that I took. And then for Halloween, my son dressed up as a gladiator, and so got a picture of him charging at me with his gladiator sword, a gladius, I guess, is what you would call that. And let me tell you, he did not hold back. He took his Halloween costume role very seriously. So an action shot of him charging at me, and I just love his expression, how fierce he is, the way he has the sword kind of cocked back, ready to stab me in the neck. Just his hair kind of flowing back. Gosh, I love this photo. And it was taken with the X100T, and I was trying to get, I was doing some rapid fire pictures, and the autofocus, I think back focus here. I don't think he was super in focus, which I don't really care. Kind of lends to the action of it, him just kind of moving so fast. But yeah, I love this photo. We actually used this on his photo or on his birthday cards for, sending out birthday invitations. But yeah, this is really indicative of his character and his personality, and that's part of why I really love this photo. All right, so this is, I guess, kind of a product shot. As mentioned before, I've really got into watches. This was a Grand Seiko that I bought kind of mid-year, and just fooling around with getting some natural light shots of it. Took this with the XT1 and the XT1 and the 60mm macro lens, and I really enjoy this shot. I think for a product style shot of a watch, my first really kind of attempt at it. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I really like it. I like the soft lighting on the dial. I like the position of the strap. I don't know. I was really proud of this, kind of product shot that I spent a little bit of time on, I guess. Yeah, this is kind of one of my favorite watch shots that I took of the year. Okay, as explained earlier, we brought our daughter home that we adopted, and this was, I think, around the first week after her being home. She's an extremely happy child and just constant joy, and she's amazing. We absolutely love her. So this is one of the first pictures I snapped of her after being home. And my wife was holding her. She was backlit by the sun, and we were just playing outside and having a fun time. And I really love the smile on her face and the look in her eyes. Like this is really representative of just how she is day in, day out. And this is a photo I was able to capture that really represents that. And it just puts a smile on my face when I look at it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, there's not much more to say about it, really. And then this, our bay window, as you saw in a previous picture, another photo that represents her personality. She is constantly getting into everything, just like most 2.5-year-olds do. And she thinks everything is funny. She thinks everything is hilarious. Every naughty thing she does is just, she thinks she's the funniest person ever. So she was standing up on our couch, looking out the window and, turning around, laughing her head off because she climbed up there and she thinks she's funny. But yeah, love the expression on her face. Just pure joy once again. And she's just so tiny. And one of my favorite photos since her being home. And then last, a family photo we took at Thanksgiving. This was, I want to say, 4 or 5 days after, coming home with her. And we took a family photo, set the X100T up on a tripod, and then self-timer, and tried to get a family photo on Thanksgiving. And this was the result. Dren was scrumming around because I was kind of tickling him to get him to laugh a little bit, but I love the expression on her face. I love, it's just a good photo of all of us. I really enjoy it. And, probably a nice photo to round the year out as, one of my favorite photos of the year. There you have it. Those are my 10 favorite photos that I took in 2021 of the very limited photography that I did do. Mostly just, personal stuff, pictures of family. If not my immediate family, then extended family, pretty much. So that's what I've been up to in 2021. Been very busy with a lot of stuff. I don't know what 2022 holds in terms of photography. Not doing any photo work as far as any second shooting of weddings or any real estate work at all. So anything that I do in 2022 will just be more personal work, probably family work, maybe a few landscapes here or there. But other than that, that's pretty much it. And as far as the gear that I'm using now, I am really pretty much just down to the X-T1 and the X100T. Those are the only 2 cameras, photography cameras that I have. And as far as lenses with the X-T1, I have the 16 2.8, which I'm still loving a lot, the 56 1.2, the Rokinon 12mm, which hasn't had a lot of use lately, and the 60mm macro. So those lenses, one X-T1 and an X100T. Those are the only cameras and lenses I'm using. And yeah, I've been really using the X100T a lot lately, not just, for travel or whatever, but in just day-to-day life. Anytime I'm getting photos of the kids, 80 to 90% of the time, I'm reaching for that X100T. That's just kind of what I've been gravitating towards. And yeah, I love it. So anyway, my favorite photos of 2021, there they are. It's just been a long time since I've really done anything, any content on this channel, anything creative relating to this channel. And I wanted to kind of, have a little bit of a retrospective on last year and, kind of do something. So once again, thank you for watching. And I will see you in any videos I have planned for 2022 or decide to, to create or come up with.